Well, it was a home game. The Sharks returning from a semi-long road trip, and it's a backup goaltender. Recipe for disaster? You tell me. Welcome to hashtag Pucknology After Dark. Please use the hashtag to interact with us. You can also interact with us on the YouTube chat. We have joining me AJ Strong, at AJ Strong, excuse me.
Yeah, did you mention the Black Armor jersey too?
Oh, good point. And Mr. Ian Reed at I Read Pucknology.
Right, that's me. Here I am.
Well, that particular intro kind of just sums up the game in general. Kind of a letdown, kind of snoozer to begin with, and then it just kind of rolled downhill from there. Boys, what did you guys think, just starting off right off the bat? Quick takes.
Go ahead, Ian.
Um, I saw a lot of, I always watch social media during the games, especially boring-ass games like this one where I may pay more attention to social media than the game itself. And I saw a lot of the sentiment, it's just one of those nights. And I think that to an extent that was true, like Burns healing that puck on the open net, it just, nothing was going the Sharks' way. But at the same time, this is a concerning trend to me at this point, because if you look at the road trip they just came off of, you're not even just the road trip, the last 4 games they played, going back to the Vancouver at home and even Vancouver on the road, the games haven't really been there for the Sharks. Aside from the Edmonton game, the Sharks haven't really been the one pushing play. They've kind of been the team that kind of reacts to what's given to them. And I just...
Oh, you mean aside from that game against the 29th team in the league?
Yeah, but I mean, still, they still came. I mean, it's the NHL, right? You can lose and win against any team on any given night, but I want to be excited about the playoffs. I want to be excited that the Sharks are gonna, go and do some damage, but I can't get excited when, if this is how they're gonna play going into the playoffs, they're not gonna be there very long.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously no one is. Stop taking it seriously, okay? No one's blaming this on wearing black jerseys. No one's blaming this on a backup goaltender. No one's blaming this that, it's a first home after being on the road, so the guys got laid and so they're cool now and they're worn out. Thank you, Laurel, for that one. They look so disinterested tonight, for the most part. And Ian covers this. This is one of Ian's favorite talking points. They played down to the level of their competition again.
Yeah.
It's in the thing that's also, I don't know. The thing that really gets me is the fact that over the last 5 games, including tonight, 2 for 13 on the power play. Once again, another game in the last 5 where a power play goal could have been pretty significant if you'd gotten one in that first power play, that second power play. The perimeter shooting. I mean, New Jersey just forced San Jose. The plethora of their shots were all coming from the perimeter. Now, granted, I did see the Sharks looking to try to make like the shot pass or the pass shot, depending on your viewpoint. And it just nothing seemed to be working. So PDB, of course, is shaking up the lines, moving Nieto down, bringing Carlson up, but it's playing down to the competition again. And if that's the case, then I expect a fantastic game against Calgary. Then, or the Capitals. Excuse me.
Yeah. Well, I think we also got to realize too that most of the time, in this recent stretch, the Sharks were normally dictating play, right? They would push their play, they would push their agenda, have a really heavy forecheck, just really impose their will upon the other teams. And tonight, they let the other team dictate play. They let the other team just lull them to sleep. And you know what? There wasn't really any kind of mojo the entire game. You saw it in the 2 freak saves that Kincaid made, one off of the pad where, literally if an inch to the center of his pads, and that would have been a goal. And then Burns completely whiffing on an open net. Thornton Pavelski, Marlowe, those three just did not look good tonight. Thornton was
Oh, was
letting
Marlowe playing tonight?
yeah, yeah, exactly. And basically, Joe leaving the puck in people's shoes, not taking it with him. He's on a 2-on-1 and he forgets the puck with him. I mean, you want to blame it on the ice. You want to blame it on coming home from a long road trip. But guys, it
It
just
wasn't a long road trip though.
I mean, you want to blame it on coming back from a road trip, but they just weren't there tonight, man. And the shitty part of this is that it's a continual trend at home. They just seem to get too comfortable at home.
Are we even at
Um,
500 at this point?
No,
No,
we're two games,
three games under 500, I think.
yeah, 3 games.
How the hell do you pull that off? Having like the best road, the best record on the road, and one of the worst at home. I mean, you can't even get 500 at home. You got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. And yes, those are flimsy hangers in the back. My girlfriend just left for Italy for 2 weeks. I had to drive to LAX from San Diego, so if anybody knows that drive, it's about 2.5 hours. It sucks.
And I tweeted it out earlier. To be fair, if my goal song was LMFAO, I wouldn't want to score either.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. But did you guys hear the organ tonight?
No,
No.
didn't even notice it. Didn't hear
No.
it.
Yeah, I heard it. You know what, though? Like I said before, it's just, we've come to expect it at home now. We've come to expect the home struggles, but that still doesn't make it any better. And right now, maybe this team does need to go on the road. Maybe it does deserve to be the 3rd seed and have to fight on the road to really make a dent in the playoffs, because they're not making any hay at home right now. And I don't see them picking up their home play in the last 15, 16 games. I think it's going to continue like this. Maybe win one here, lose one here. I mean, they'd be lucky to go 500 throughout the rest of the home games that they've got. So they've got 13, 14 home games. A 7-7 record is probably what I would expect at this point.
It's just a play in general, though. I don't think I think this road home thing is just, like I said, it's a little overrated. I mean, you go back to the last 5 games the Sharks played, last 4 or 5 games the Sharks played, that their special teams are abysmal. It's just, this isn't a road home thing. They didn't play good on the road. They got wins, but you can get wins without playing good, which is exactly what happened on the road. They beat Calgary because Martin Jones stood on his head and made just ridiculous save after ridiculous save on shot out after shot until there was 47 saves that he made that night.
That was the Sharks, scoring a minute and a half in, and then for the rest of the game not being able to get a goal in against a AHL netminder.
Yeah, and the Flames are really high on Yoni Ordio. I mean, he's probably going to be a goaltender in this league, but it's not like he was having a spectacular season until he faced the Sharks. And then you look at, the Vancouver games, they basically, like I said on TTG yesterday, they basically played with their food for a half a game and then decided, okay, now we're going to turn it on, and it worked 2 out of 3 times. But there's just lots of problems in the Sharks game in general right now. And, tonight they go and they let the Devils dictate play, and that's what happened tonight. They played the Devils game for far too long. The Devils, they got a nice bounce on that the goal that just crosses the line, and that's what it is. It's not a home or away thing. This is just the Sharks, for some reason, since maybe since the trade deadline, just haven't looked as good as they did prior to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I
I'm
would
totally
agree.
in agreement. Yeah, exactly. I think really, I look at Patrick Marleau. I just look at his game tonight. I wasn't there. You look at Matt Nieto, missing on that wraparound that he had an extra second. Last game I was talking about Dylan. I mean, before Sharks were consistently stepping up line by line by line, and really, any line was a threat to score. these last 4 or 5 games, it looks like line by line by line, there's somebody dragging. There's at least one Shark dragging that's just kind of pulling the whole line down, the whole team down, and I think that's why you saw DeBoer really, put the lines in a blender tonight, because he's trying to figure out, okay, well, who's got it tonight, who doesn't. Donskoy looked like he was trying to do something out there. Tierney looked like he was trying to do something out there. Hal Zubris looked like he was trying to do something out there. But the big boys, unfortunately, just decided to turn it on late, and it's not going to do it. If you turn it on in the last 5 minutes of the third period, chances are you're not going to get anything done. And
that's a good point. This was a game that I think you look to the vets to start things going, and for the most part, where were they?
I mean, you look at Burns. He whiffed on an open net. I mean, yeah, he was a little unbalanced, but still, I mean, if you've got a Burns that's on his game, that's mentally there and mentally focused, even if he is falling, he still would have made that goal. We've seen him.
That puck was doing some funny things. That's a hard shot when you're not balanced. That's a hard shot to make.
I just feel like if this team was on its A game and it just mentally there and mentally crisp, then I think that the outcome would have been different. They would have capitalized on those 50-50 pucks. They would have capitalized, on those chances that they had. But to me, tonight was mentally they just weren't focused. It looked like the body was sagging a little bit. The guys looked like they were sagging, and.
Well, look, we saw this team. We've seen this throughout the entire course of the season with this BS at home, to the point where they even changed up their practice. They weren't practicing at SAP. They started practicing at Sharks Ice in the mornings. When do we get to the point where they just shit can just throw everything out the window and start staying at hotels even when they're in San Jose? Just treat everything like a fucking road game. Don't go home. Just go to a hotel.
Well, I mean, I think they were pretty close. I think, what was it, that really bad stretch of home games where they started practicing at Sharks Ice instead of practicing on at SEP Center. I think they were a loss away from implementing the stay hotel at home deal.
That costs money. There's no way the Sharks are going to do that.
It's another case of hey, let's fix something else that isn't broken. I mean, this is getting so ridiculous. I'm surprised we saw the overreaction. Well, first let's also address something. There were several comments, whether it was from our good friend Shalana Goldman, whether it was from some of the other people that are regulars at the tank. There's a lot of people talking about how empty the tank was tonight. And the Sharks, bless their hearts, they keep trying to, whether it's rolling out an alumni, whether it's, no matter what the promotion is, whether it's a giveaway or $10 tickets with a student ID, whatever you have, they're trying to get people in here. And from what I was told tonight, they replaced the annoying girl from the Barracuda with the annoying guy from the Barracuda to do the contest tonight. So they keep trying to fix things that aren't necessarily broken, and all under the guise of, in response to the fans. The fans have been bitching about black jerseys for I don't know how long. I mean, we finally getting to the point where they finally said, yeah, okay, we're not going to wear those in the playoffs anymore. I'm surprised just in response to because it's like the only thing that they haven't responded to when it comes to the fans is, oh, you know what? Fans really hate it when we wear black on Thursdays. Maybe we should stop doing that. And then it'll be one less excuse, and then we'll start blaming it on, oh, the Sharks suck on authentic fan Thursdays when they hand out those cards. Let's stop handing out those cards.
I want to address some things that are in the chat right now. People are saying, well, you know what? They just didn't get the bounces tonight. They were there, but the bounces weren't there. Stop kind of handing on them. The other night they got the bounces when they beat Calgary. Look, I said this after the Vancouver game. I said their play is trending down. And I was worried that they were starting to let too many shots on net, getting too lackadaisical in the defensive zone. I was really worried about Dylan and the lack of his movement up ice and the lack of really trying to make a good first pass, and that pairing with Pollock. I said this about a week ago, and tonight I think kind of comes to fruition. I think this was a culmination of a lot of different things really starting to set in, and right now I'm gonna wonder what Sharks team is gonna come out against the Capitals, because at this point tonight I feel like the Sharks could probably get blanked 3-0, 4-0 by the Caps if they play like this against the Caps. They're going to get driven out of the building.
I kind of feel like I'm hoping and we covered this, as Ian said yesterday in the TTG podcast. It's disappointing to see this when just January 2nd we saw the Winnipeg game at home being a massive wake-up call. Tonight's game was a little reminiscent of that, and this has been the Sharks. This has been their, so many people have labeled this team, the choke artists and well, I don't think we need to say gutless, but a lot of people question their heart. A lot of people question their effort when it comes down right to it. And the fact that they constantly seem to, or they need a wake-up call like every couple of months. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, when is enough enough? And where does, I mean, you can blame that on Thornton and Marlowe right now. And then when they're gone in a couple of years, if we still see this, then who do you blame it on? Are you going to blame it on Wilson? Well, he's gone now. Well, who are you going to blame? It's whether you want to talk about culture or whatever. It is a little maddening. And Wendell said this last night. Win or lose, as long as I feel or that appears to me that they're giving 100% of the time, then I'm okay with the loss. And tonight, it didn't feel like we were getting 100% from 100% of these guys.
Agreed. I totally in agreement with you, AJ. I think, there are those acceptable losses. I remember when me and Ian had our little tiff about the Detroit game, where I just, enough was enough losing at home, and somebody's just got to step in and do something to win a game. It's not like that. It's not that kind of a game where they could have or probably should have won. Tonight, I felt like they weren't 100% on the gas, to be quite honest. I didn't feel like DeBoer could roll 4 lines and have all 4 lines exert their dominance. I felt like he had to play some matchup games. Look, sheer talent alone says that this team should have ran out New Jersey out of the building.
I mean, New Jersey's a team with Tyler Kennedy on their fucking top line.
Yeah, on paper, exactly. And we go back to the whole thing of playing down to the competition. This is easily a team on paper that the Sharks run out of the building. So once again, I go back to the whole thing of I look forward to Saturday night and the Sharks just absolutely dominating the Caps, because that would be completely unexpected, just like tonight, for the most part, was completely unexpected. And now look, there is something to be said for the fact that the schedule has been pretty brutal for these guys, where they really have since what, the trade deadline? Hell, since before the trade deadline, they've had one stretch where they've had 2 days off. So you haven't had a lot of time to practice. Clearly, the power play needs it. The PK could use it too. Special teams definitely need some practice. You also want to get more time to get Reimer involved, Pollock involved, Spalling, and everything. Maybe try out some new things. It would be nice to see these guys get a practice, get a day for some air, but you know what? You don't get it. You're not going to get it until after this Saturday, where you actually finally get 2 days off. And then for the rest of it, you don't get 2 days off for until a month from now. So I mean, just I feel for him in that regard, but
you know what?
like,
And going into the chat, let's just say this now. I don't think any one of us expect this team to go 82-0. I don't. And it's not realistic. It's not possible. However, you do want to see a compete level from this team. And I think my main point is tonight I just didn't see it. I didn't see the mental execution and the compete level be high. And when you see that from a team that has playoff aspirations, that from a team that in its own opinion should be a Stanley Cup contender, whether or not we believe that, that's something different. But they believe in their hearts that they're a Stanley Cup contender. You don't. I mean, you have off nights, sure, but you have better than a sub 500 record at home.
Yeah, that's a part of it.
I mean,
but,
look, going into the chat too. Sorry to cut you off, AJ. If you were saying they did see a compete, look, I appreciate that the Sharks got a lot of shots. I just don't think that the quality was there on a lot of those shots.
Exactly.
They got a lot of shots on goal. Pretty much doubled the Capitals. I mean, the Capitals got 2 shots on goal in 18 minutes, and they both happened to be goals. I mean,
I think you mean the Devils, but okay.
Whatever. This shit happens. But at the same time, I feel like, the quality of the shots weren't.
Yeah, they suck. There was a lot of shots but we've seen this a lot of the season where it's a lot of shots from the perimeter, from outside the dots. They don't hit the slot. And in fact, somebody even tweeted that out earlier, that if you only counted shots from the slot or between the dots, the Sharks would probably have one of the lowest shooting percentages in the NHL. And you can't agree. The vast majority of their shots come from the perimeter. They come from up high. And if you're not looking for a shot pass once in a while, or so, at least tonight, the power play, I will say, the power play, although they didn't net one, they did have some decent looks from time to time. But it's still, I don't know if something happened at the tank last night or the night before, if there was an event. I mean, the ice didn't look that great, but as the coach,
garbage.
But as the coaches always say, both teams played on the same sheet of ice. So and especially when it's your home barn, you have to be used to that. It just playing on just shitty ice.
Yeah, and I mean, look, if the Panthers can have a better than 500 record at home, and they probably have the worst ice in the NHL, then I mean, there's not really any excuse for the Sharks. The other point that I had was this team. This is the second year now, probably even the third year, if you're kind of going back tracking where the home kind of record has just kind of slipped. And look, I mean, for years the tank used to be dominant. For years, people would be scared to go into that barn. But right now it doesn't have that imposing feel to it. The last thing before
it's hard to be imposing when you see so many empty seats.
Right, exactly. And the last thing I want to talk about, again, the ice was shitty, but when the ice is shitty, you don't take perimeter shots. That's when you force the issue at the net itself. And we had, 3 or 4 instances where they really pushed play 10 to 15 feet in front of the net? Besides that, they were letting New Jersey kind of push them out to the perimeter. You didn't really see a lot of jam plays and things like that you need to see when the ice is bad. So,
and funnily enough, we're discussing bad ice. And guess what? We are now seeing tweets come in, post-game comments. Quote from Peter DeBoer, Coach PDB speaking bluntly about the conditions at the tank, saying, fix the ice. So when your own head coach is calling it out, Plotner, Wilson, y'all need to talk about some dehumidifiers, some AC. Maybe we stop holding events the day before Sharks games or something. Whatever you need to do, fix the damn ice, man. I mean, I've been beating that drum for years. Spend the money, get the dehumidifier. The fact that I can go to a hockey game in January in shorts and be completely comfortable when I'm 2 rows from the glass, that's kind of no. You should be pretty damn cold at that point. Fix the ice. In fact, get that trending. Hashtag SJ Sharks. Hashtag fix the ice, man. Let's help PDB out. Let's send a message. God damn it. Fix the damn ice.
Okay, Chris, just one last piece before we go to Puck Guy. Yes, they did get 20-5. They outshot the Devils 20-5 in the slot. That is correct. But I'm asking, how many jam plays did we see? How many?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at your chart, and I mean, I'm not going to dispute the chart, obviously. I just feel like from what I watched, it didn't really feel like the Sharks, had that many. They had a few where they obviously whiffed, but I thought that it just felt like the Sharks didn't really have, the quality, of shots where you thought, okay, Kincaid had to come up. Like, he made some good saves, but
yeah, exactly. That's
kind
of my point.
Had to work as hard as
you can
the
look
numbers
at these,
would make it look.
Yeah, you can look at these charts. Does the chart show how Kincaid had to react or everything like that? It's, oh, look at this shot from the slot that went right into the crest of the goaltender who didn't have to move more than half an inch. So yeah, the chart is great, but watching the game is a different aspect. That's one of the things that those charts don't tell you. The numbers, while they're a great litmus test, but they don't tell the whole story.
All right, let's go to Puck Guy. Puck Guy, what was this scene like at the tank tonight?
Very, very quiet, very.
So kind of like you right now.
Pretty much.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Good gaming on the inside.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Church.
I've been dying to say that for years, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
No, there was a late arriving crowd, but it was a decent crowd. But there were still empty seats. Where me and Gentry sat tonight, I think we were, along with 2 others, the only ones in the entire row. So it was. We kind of felt early on when
project your voice, sir. Project your voice.
Sorry,
People are having a hard time.
Sorry about that. I just not trying to sound loud while I'm walking down Santa Clara Street. Basically, when they got the 6 shots on goal after 1 period, we're like, oh boy, this is going to be a classic New Jersey game. It'll be like a 2-1 game. But when New Jersey got that first goal, I looked at Gentry and we both went, we're in trouble, because we could see that the Sharks weren't having crisp passing. They definitely weren't taking a lot of shots. They were passing up on a lot of shots. I think we counted, at one time on the power play, they had like 8 passes before they tried to shoot.
Before it was blocked and then cleared.
So it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It was one of those games like we talked about last year, where they played down to their opponent's level and did not look sharp at all. And
we've got a quote coming in, Eric, and I just want to get your take on this. Peter DeBoer asked post-game about simplifying the game on bad ice. He says, maybe we fix the ice. How about that? Hashtag SJ Sarks. What did the ice look like to you guys?
What did you think of the ice?
Well, I'm not much of an ice guru. I'm more of a turf guru myself. But coming from, I'm learning. But I would say that the ice was, it was better than it was against the Canucks. They had the double header. So.
Yeah, I'm wondering. And when we went on the tour during the Tweet Up game, we talked to the VP of marketing, and he says the ice can be well as long as it's cold outside. And at that time, it was a downpour, so it was held up fairly good against the Canucks. But tonight, it's very humid out here. There's no rain yet, but it's very humid out here. So basically, that's going to play a big factor into it, I think. And the puck was bouncing a little bit. Definitely not helping on their passing at all. But, what was it? 12 years ago, they made the investment to cool down the rink a little bit more.
Time to open up the walls and invest a bit more in that.
So last question before we let you go, Eric. On the TV timeouts when they were clearing the ice, how much snow buildup was there?
There was a good chunk of snow. And it looked like you were in Minnesota clearing off the lake for some pond hockey.
Yeah.
How
So-
was the how was okay, two questions. I heard that there was a new guy running the contest. I'm assuming it's the guy from the Barracuda team instead
Which it
rather
was,
than the
yeah.
girl. Okay, how was that, and how was the organ?
Number one, well, I'll start with the last question. The organ wasn't in yet. They're going to debut that Saturday.
Okay, it's bizarre because Eric Landy swore he heard it.
Yeah, I heard.
There was the recorded organ, but and they tend to use a little bit more tonight. I noticed.
Okay, that's what I got.
But yeah, as for the other guy, I thought he was all right. I wasn't covering my ears, but definitely he's okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, I mean, he was.
It wasn't impressive. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of okay. It was just kind of there in the background, and that's pretty much what you want. You don't want somebody who's too obnoxious and who stands out. You just want somebody who can kind of just blend in with the crowd, much like the Sharks tonight in their lackadaisical play.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say this about the Sharks gameplay: a lot of do 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 do, and there was no sense of urgency. And tonight they blew a very, very good chance to at least get close within Anaheim. And they just effing blew it. Last thing you want to do is play these games before you go up against the likes of Washington, Boston, the Rangers, Dallas, and the big one against LA. I mean, you need to put some fear into your opponents. And all this does is say, we could walk right into Shark Tank. Just ask Vancouver, New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, another good quote coming in on the Twitter machine, and this is a quote from last year, but funnily enough, it says, at the end of his first shift at fantasy camp last year, Marco Sturm hopped over the boards and said, yep, the ice is still the same as it ever was.
And you would think that they would invest in more dehumidification systems. AJ, you know this for sure. Way back when, and early in the, like the 2000s or late 90s, they brought in like big old fans in to kind of cool down the place.
Yeah, no, I remember the playoff series. The coldest I might have ever felt in there is, I believe, was around that playoff series against St. Louis in 2000. I remember going in there,
Yep.
and we're talking, April, and it's 73 outside, and you go into the tank, and it's like, oh, it's a wee bit chilly in here. I like it. And I haven't felt that in quite some time. There's been more than enough times where I walk in and it doesn't even feel like you've gone from inside to outside. It feels almost the same.
Right. I mean, I have just a T-shirt and a jersey on, and I'm sweating.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous.
Well, we all understand that. It was because you were in the presence of Ray Whitney, so we understand your blood.
Oh, wow.
Your blood's pumping a little harder than normal tonight.
You know, it was bad enough that I took crap from you guys on Twitter today. It was bad enough that this guy over here was definitely trying to video record everything. But then
I did chronicle a lot of it, so if you follow me on Twitter or Instagram atjalexander46, you can see all the historic moments of Mission Man Crush.
Oh, geez. And with that, J. Alexander 46 just lost 20 followers.
What followers?
But we met him after the game. Definitely great guy, class act. Very humbled by the whole thing. I didn't geek out like some people thought I was going to.
On the inside.
So, but yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown here. It was great. I'll be posting pictures and stuff later. I may or may not have bought 6 Whitney shirts before I left tonight. So, yeah.
Okay. I might
Back
be.
to you, Landy.
I might be talked into taking one of those off your hands. Hey, do me a favor. Turn the camera around. Show everybody San Pedro Street, would you? I know you're coming up on it.
Yep, right here.
Oh, I love that sign. I was just there.
Can't wait for that sign to say San Jose Sharks on it in a few weeks.
Yep.
Definitely. Yep. Oh, by the way, AJ, I have your cheer card.
Oh, thank you, good sir. I appreciate that very much.
So.
And what did I see that they were handing out on the 24th? Oh yeah, and so the next, I guess, one of the next cheer cards is the Brent Burns cheer card will be handed out against the on the 24th against the Oilers, and the best part of it is the cheer card features Burns wearing the Chewbacca head from the All-Star game. That's just awesome.
Yes.
So I look forward to that. All right, thanks a lot, Eric.
All right, now I gotta go home and go to bed and wake up in 4 hours. Back to you, Landy. Good night, guys.
Good night, Eric. Well, that was Puck Guy 14 coming in from the tank. You know what? I don't know, guys. I
think we've covered it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of over with. It's done. It came down to it feels like there's a consensus of the Sharks just need to bring a little bit more to the table, especially at home. I mean, dear Lord, I don't get it. But moving on, we have the Capitals coming up on Saturday, and immediately followed up by Boston. Well, actually, fortunately enough, not immediately. We actually get a 2-game respite between the Capitals on Saturday and then the following Tuesday against Boston. So hopefully the Sharks can fit a practice in there somewhere. But with Ovi and the Caps coming to town now, I don't have the schedule directly in front of me. Washington lost in OT to LA last night. They don't have any more. They don't have a game tonight. They don't have a game tomorrow. So were probably in San Jose last night then, huh?
Pulling it up right now. So in the division, we've got Anaheim taking on St. Louis tomorrow, 5 o'clock Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Arizona at Calgary. That's for Pacific Division games. Let's see. Saturday night, your games are Sharks host Washington.
Well, that was all it was. It was just an idea of were the Capitals going to play one more time before. Here,
no,
they're not. So they get an extra day off, even though they do. Well, yes and no, because they have to travel that monster hour, 15-minute flight from SoCal to NorCal. Gen X letting us know they've been camped out in downtown San Jose since this morning. Let's be honest, Ovechkin's been at Market Beer Company at San Pedro all day today.
Yeah.
Anyway, looking forward to that. So we saw what happened coming up with Washington coming into the barn, being the hottest team in the NHL. What do we expect, boys? Ian, what are you looking towards?
Yeah, this game obviously has me a little worried with how they've played as of late because this is not a game where they can take a half a game off and then try and climb back into it later. I'm hoping for a good effort. I think that, I'm hoping the Sharks elevate their game to their opponent, since they seem to be able to drop it down to their opponent as of late. So, I'm expecting a good game. I'm hoping that the Sharks can kind of, basically put all this crap behind them and start another, run of good hockey. So hopefully we see that, but who knows at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. I think if they are able to come out guns a-blazing against the Caps, I think they'll have a good chance of holding them off. I think this next game could be a really good test and really kind of a bounce back game, because they'll have to elevate their game again to play a really hot team that normally really fixes this team and gets it back into an upswing again. And you know what? If you can go, 10 and what do we got 15 games left. If you go 10-5 in the next little series here, you got a real shot at the division. I mean, you've got the Ducks and the Kings both playing against some pretty quality opponents right now, and maybe we get some luck going our way. Then maybe they lose a couple games here and there. You can't. I mean, you obviously you can't bank on that, but you hope for it. So like I said, the Sharks are in the playoffs. They're as far as their playoff fates, it's in their own hands. I think they're still in a good position. The sky's not falling there. But if they want any shots at the division, they got to clean up the home game. Or find ways to win at home, even if the ice is not great, and even if the execution isn't there, they've got to find ways.
Can I just take 5 seconds and say, Gen X, serious, blow me, dude. Seriously, man. I mean, this comment in the chat. Love how you mock the 1+ flight when it's the Caps coming from LA, but holy hell, if the Sharks had to make that flight because they couldn't do the LA-Anaheim back-to-back, yikes. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact how fucking stupid it is to go down to play LA just to have to come back for 3 days to turn around and go back, or the fact that the LA, they can't fucking figure that out, that when you're going to play one team and the other team is like 40 minutes away, you can't make that work at all. That has nothing to do with it, man. Anyway, got that out of my...
I mean, I think honestly one of the reasons why they do it that way is because they know it's a short flight and it's not really that big of a deal. So, hey, if they can, make a little road trip out of it because let's say SAP is booked or you've got the Ducks needing to come up because their barn is booked or whatever, they kind of use that as a mechanism to keep the schedule a little more free. I want to see them do the back-to-back in LA and Anaheim and just get it over with in one shot as much as the next Sharks fan wants to see that. Unfortunately, I just think the NHL sees it as, well, it's not really that much travel for them, so we can leave that alone. We can leave that as a ace in the hole, so to speak, if we've got to get one of these teams on the road for a game.
All right. Well,
question.
Yeah, I was going to say we're leading into it. I'm getting to it.
All right.
Let me just pull this up right now, just so right as Chris throws Slushy into a timeout. All right, kids, hands on buzzers. Here you go. Time for Slushy's Corner. I don't. If somebody wants to hum a little tune, I don't have anything prepared. Okay. Brent Burns started his career in 03-04. From 03-04 to last season, what year did he have his best plus-minus? A, 06-07, B, 13-14, C, 07-08.
He was definitely a Wild when he had his best plus-minus. 06-07 is where I'm going to go.
Ian, do you need the answers again, or are you ready?
Yeah. No,
okay, so the answer, best plus-minus, 06-07, 13-14, 07-08.
I'll go with 7-08.
And both you fuckers are wrong.
13-14 when he was a forward?
13-14, he was a plus 26, 07-08 plus 12, 06-07 plus 16. So, hey, Slushy, you don't win anything, but you stumped him, so that was a good one. And of course, his Slushy question leads us into the elephant in the room that, of course, we need to tackle. What do you guys think the Sharks were thinking when they added LMFAO as one of their goal song options?
Well, here's what they were thinking.
The modified one.
Basically, if you look at the songs, I mean, none of them are from the last maybe couple of decades, so they had to pick something that was at least from this century. So they picked a song and screwed it up and made sure that no one would pick it.
Well, yeah, that's like the joke I made earlier. It's like, if that was my song, I wouldn't want to score either. That is worse than Nickelback. If that ends up being the next goal song, it will be the Sharks the Sharks could win multiple Stanley Cups. They will still be a laughingstock based on that damn song. Do you guys want to quickly go over?
I will burn the shirt. Burn it.
Do we want to quickly review the options that we have? Number one, off the top of my head, Ain't Talking About Love from Van Halen. What do you say, Eric?
I think it's a good little mix that they've got where they've got the hey.
Hey.
Wow. I'm a Van Halen fan and I like that song, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. It's not bad. It's kind of generic, but it's not bad. There's worse.
Ian?
Yeah, I talked with this last night, and I'm probably gonna say something completely different because I'm tired. It seems forced. It just doesn't do anything for me at all. It's a cool song. I like Van Halen, but I don't know. It just doesn't do anything for me as a goal song.
All right, and next up we have a song, if you can call it that, called "Dup Dup" by Mickey Krause. I kid you not, look it up, kids. This is apparently actually a song, a little EDM ditty for all you glow stick kiddies. Uh, Ian, we'll go to you first. How you feeling about this track?
I hate this. This is if it wasn't for the LMFAO track, this would be the worst track ever in the history of ever. To me, this kind of it feels a little soccer to me, to be completely honest. It feels like something you'd hear at a soccer game. And I think maybe they're trying to attract different demographics that might like music they play at soccer games. But it does nothing for me, and I don't like it, and I want to punch people in the face when I hear it.
Eric?
Yeah. I mean, doesn't really do anything for me. Kind of, I don't know. It's generic, but from a new age perspective. It's just kind of like noise to me.
Yeah, and just for anybody who wasn't aware, I did write an article on Pucknology.net about this yesterday, so if you want to know my takes, I don't want to get into it here because you can just go read it. But quickly, while I say, if you want my takes, go there, but I'm going to quickly give you a take. As annoying as Chelsea Dagger is, this would be the Dup Dup would just annoy people to death. But the problem is it would actually annoy the home fans more than it would annoy the opposing fans. So, anyway, moving on. The next option we have is the hip hop classic from House of Pain, "Jump Around." Eric, what say you?
I guess they had to have a '90s choice there.
A song that came out at the same time the franchise began?
Yeah. I mean, I could maybe see it, maybe a little bit more than the other choices there. It wouldn't be a bad song, but I think it's kind of hard to interact fan-wise with that one. It just, I think it's like, well, do I sing like jump up, get down, or do I sing the hey? I mean, it's just kind of like, eh.
Well, Ian, what was your thoughts on this yesterday? Because you did have a perfect description for this.
Yeah, to me, I love this song, but for me, House of Pain, Jump Around, this is something you play on a TV timeout. You play it between plays. To me, it doesn't work as a goal song. But I think it's something that obviously it's something you want to play to pump people up. About to take a big face off. Yeah, Jump Around, awesome. But yeah, no.
Yeah, this is the song that you play during a TV timeout when you're showing goofy kids on the Jumbotron, losing their minds. So, moving on, "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue. I would consider this to be the odds-on favorite when you look at all of the options. Ian, we'll start with you this time.
Yeah, this song, of the list of songs that are there, this is by far and away the best option. I would be completely fine with this as the goal song. I don't think anyone really uses it as a goal song, and it works. It works, and I think that yes, you're not going to pick a goal song that everyone's going to like, obviously, but I think this one would be cool.
Yeah. Eric?
Had to include the Motley Crue, didn't we? You know what? Hey, it's a fun little song. I'll give them that. I'm not a big Crue fan, but hey, it works, and just Vince Neil's voice kind of gets me a little angry, a little upset, but yeah, I mean it's a good song. It's a good. I mean, where they have the breaks, I think are pretty good, and kind of gets you a little pumped up. Best choice out of the lot, I think.
Yeah. Now, I'm on the other end of the spectrum. I can totally understand your point about Vince Neil's voice. I get that, but I've also been like a lifelong Motley Crue fan since their first album. Some of the best concerts I've ever seen. Those fuckers know how to put on a show. But yeah, this is clearly the what should be the favorite when you compare it to the other 5 in the running that the Sharks have offered us as options. But I do want to point out the irony, the fact if this in fact does win, I just love the irony that they tried 6 a.m. A group that Nikki Sixx. How funny is it going to be when they get rid of a song from a band that Nikki Sixx started to go to a different band that Nikki Sixx started? I just find that just incredibly funny. So now we move on to the next choice.
I just keep thinking of Hot Tub Time Machine where it's Motley Lou and the guy goes back in time and he starts Motley Crue and then he just calls it Motley Lou. I think it's just hilarious. My dad's a big Crue fan as well, and you know what, it's good for the moment, for a particular moment, but I won't say that I actively seek out Motley Crue. I think after a while I kind of gets on my nerves, but in small doses, it's not that bad.
Okay, Gen X. I'm sorry. Coincidence, not irony. My bad. Been enjoying this tonight, so get off my back. And I don't know what the hell Chris is talking about with Spectrum. Anyway, so the next choice, if you can in fact call it that, is the LMFAO track Shark, and it says. This is the thing that I think is so funny about this, is it actually says Sharks Remix on there. It's not a remix. A remix is when you change the music, you change the tempo. I mean, you do significant changes. As I said yesterday on the TTG podcast, they took a snippet of LMFAO with Lil Jon shots that we're all aware of. Shot. We all know it. And they had somebody go in who has one of the most milquetoast voices ever. I mean, holy crap, does that sound white? And just gets in there, and they just threw him in the same studio where Randy Hahn and everybody recorded Holiday Sweat, and they said, okay, just get on there and just go, shark. Just do it the same fucking way, and it'll all be good. And I said this yesterday, if the Sharks, if this ends up being the winner, and we've already seen it. This is suffering the same thing that we saw when Nickelback was an option last summer, that all the LA fans, all the Anaheim fans, all the divisional foes, all those fans are coming in, jumping on the bandwagon, going, oh my God, let's vote for this piece of shit. It'll be hysterical. Because
it was on Bar Down, I think, even.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, it was, and in fact, I do believe they used a photo of our compadre Puck guy in that article.
No, that was a different. It was like that was Barstool something.
Oh, okay. I get it confused, but anyway,
the
fact that they just the fact that this is an option, it's like, come on, man, are you fucking serious with this? It sounds so, I mean, I said it before, it sounds so cheesy that every time they play it, they'd have to hand out glasses to wine to everybody. I mean, that's just how awful this is, and if they did it, I told Ian yesterday, if this ends up being the winner, I'm out. I'm fucking tapping out, man. I'm going to go, I'm fucking moving north. I'm going to buy a fucking Calgary jersey. I'm fucking out of here, man. I check out, man.
All right.
To Tora, lose my fucking phone number. I don't want to know you. It's over.
All right. I'll just put it to you this way. I think I've taken better dumps that have made better sounds than that song. All right, like literally, my bowel movements are better noises than that damn song. Okay.
And after that mentioned, I am furiously awaiting the GIF and/or meme of Eric Landy from Chester Chivo and/or Gen X.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines. Or, excuse me, start your Photoshop. All right, AJ, you gonna go into the last pick?
Dude, you forget about the angry Canadian, dude.
Oh.
This motherfucker has something to say. Let him speak.
All right, Ian. I'm sorry. I thought we all kind of established.
Let him pile on.
No, listen. Here's the thing. You know what this song does for me though? It just puts into like. Kind of, I don't know what the words I'm looking for. This is why I shouldn't do this show at 2 in the morning. Yeah, it really puts it in perspective. Thank you, Landy. The thing is with this song is it just shows you how stupid this goal song thing is. Like this whole thing is like the fact that we're so uptight about our goal song. I just is this something that happens in other NHL cities, or is this a San Jose phenomenon? Because I feel like
Well, dude, look what happened in Buffalo, dude. Buffalo fans were just so elated by what ended up being their song, and you saw fans from other NHL cities like looking upon them in jealousy.
Well, for sure, but I feel like other teams, like they change their goal song, and it doesn't, and only certain fan bases are really as stupid as we are about this. And I think the fact that
Buffalo
this could even
still
be an
sucks.
option.
Yeah, Buffalo still sucks. The song didn't change that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a horrible song. The fact that it's even on the list it just shows how tone deaf this front office is according to their fan base. Like, I'm sorry, the 7-year-olds that might like this goal song, they can't buy your season tickets. They don't have jobs.
Well, see, that's the whole thing. I want to know the motherfucker who suggested this. It said this would be a good idea. This'll go over great. And North Star 17 talking on the chat saying, let each player pick their own song. Vancouver tried that this year. Apparently, it was somewhat well received, but then again, I don't think anything's going to be that well received when you have the kind of season Vancouver's had this year. But apparently it did okay, but then you do run into that problem of, the shot from the point gets deflected, not sure who put it in. It's initially called Burns' goal, then after further, and they play his song. And then 2 minutes later, they review it, and they go, oh, it was actually Hurdle. Well, we've already played Burns' song, so what are you going to do? Yeah, fuck Hurdle. So that's, it's a niche thing, and that's all fine. But this isn't baseball. This isn't like walk-up music. I think you should have a singular song to get behind. Dude, can you cover your mouth next time? Anyway, so the last choice, he just happens to be on camera when he listens. So the last, and I've been trying to burn through these. So the last option is Shout by the Isley Brothers. If you don't know what the hell this is, and most people don't, go rent the movie Animal House. It's featured in the middle of the movie significantly, and and this is the thing that I actually didn't touch on in my article, and I wish I would have. Oh my God, Chester Chivo, that meme is fantastic. Eric, go look at it. If you see the movie Animal House, the version from that, and that's on the Animal House soundtrack, great fucking song, great version of the song. Two things. The version that the Sharks used is not that one. It's a much worse version. And number two, we're talking about using a song that's twice as old as the franchise. That's not your target demographic.
Okay, all right. I want to counter. I want to take the other point on this because
go ahead, fucker.
Bring it on.
No, I actually think that this is a good medium point because it brings in it brings in the kids, like it can get into it and kind of family.
Shout by the Isley Brothers, really?
Yeah.
Brings in kids.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I think
I know of no kid who knows this song. I know of nobody under the age of 30 who knows this song.
Oh, I think we lost Ian.
Well, hold on. What's Ian losing his shit over?
I'm just listening to you guys.
Oh.
I'm just waiting. I'm just gonna let you guys talk, and then I'm gonna come in and just.
Dude, Chester, I'll record my BMs and slide them into your DMs. I like it. That's awesome. Oh, and I love Pete DeBoer being quoted. I'm not one to make excuses, but trap games are real, yo. That's straight out of Pete DeBoer, right into Chris's wheelhouse.
Straight out of Chompton.
Yeah. Go ahead, Eric. I'm sorry.
All right. I think it's fun. I think that it could be a fun kind of song, and I don't think it would be a bad choice. That's just me. It kind of reminded me of Brass Bonanza because that's kind of fun.
Except Brass Bonanza is actually good.
Hey, fuck you, dude. Shout's pretty good. I just don't think it's for the target demographic, and I don't think it's a good goal song. That's all. It's a good song, just not a good goal song. And Daryl Martin, our brother, our Pucknology brother, saying after tonight's game, the Sharks might as well go with something from the Lawrence Wilt catalog. Dude, that's what I want to hear, dude. It's like Brent Burns, he scores tiny bubbles. Just fucking Don Ho the hell out of it, man.
But Saint Owen brings up a good point. Winnipeg uses it for their goal song. I want something unique.
What, tiny bubbles? You knew I was going there. Hey, all right. So, Ian, did you get your thoughts out about
Fuck this song.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. See, I knew it. That's what I love about the angry Canadian. So succinct.
All right, Chester. Enough with the memes already. That was just end on the high note, man.
Chester, keep it up. Keep doing it. I love that. Yeah. Anyway, so let's. Okay, now here's a quick game that we'll play. We've talked about the 6 options on the voting sheet or the internet form that you were allowed to make. There was an option to submit something that you thought would go. So, and there are, Ian, help me out here. There are 3 rounds with this, and when all is said and done,
March 27th, I believe.
Yeah, the day before the LA Kings game, we're supposed to, if you go to the Barracuda game that day, apparently they're going to feature the song. Do you think, what do you think wins out of this? What do you see making out of these 6? What do you see making it to the next round?
The ones that gave you making it to the next round, I don't even care as long as Kickstart My Heart makes it through, based on what's there, and then maybe we'll get some cool write-ins. But like, I don't know. I have no use for most of this list, to be completely honest. Like, Kickstart My Heart's like the only song that out of this list that I can remotely get behind.
Yeah, I do like Gen X's submission. Fuck the police. I actually wrote in under Rocket's name. I actually wrote in "Everything is awesome." I put that in, but I put it under Rocket's name.
You just want some Rush on there. Hey, I like Rush too. All right, don't back on Rush.
Another interesting thing that we've heard from, or at least that I've seen on social media. A lot of people saying, hey, we use a Metallica song for what they skate out to. Well, we used to use 2 Unlimited. We used a couple.
Oh my God, 2 Unlimited. Eric is so on, or Puck Guy is so on that freaking song.
But we used, but besides 2 Unlimited, I remember them using "Ready to Go" by Republica. They used "Ready or Not." I can't remember the name of the band off of hand, but they used to use that. But they settled on Metallica with "Seek and Destroy," and I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, "Why can't we get Metallica to do something?" I'm just putting this out there now. When I spoke to Steve Maroney, the guy who does the in-game experience and all the in-arena stuff, I asked him that very question, like, why not solicit a local artist to record something? And I brought up Metallica, and he said, we actually did in fact reach out to them, and they politely declined. So let's stop asking Metallica to write and record something. They're not going to do it. They politely declined. I would love to see them reach out to maybe Sammy Hagar, who's already done a song called Mas Tequila that is very similar to Rock and Roll Part 2. I would love to see them reach out to Dave Meniketti from Y&T, Bay Area mainstay, been in the Bay Area for over 40 years as part of Y&T, so that would be fun. I don't know that it would be that great. Hell, Joe Satriani, another local that would probably put together something really cool. But I think it's pretty clear that the Sharks, they want to go with a well-known classic song. Clearly something that is unknown is not working, because the 6 a.m. thing not happening, and granted, that's probably going to happen with everything when you can't hear it because half the speakers are broken. So moving on, is there anything else we need to touch on tonight, boys? I mean, we hit the goal song to death. We discussed we discussed the game tonight. We already talked about the upcoming game. Is there anything else that's top of mind that you guys are kind of like, hey, God damn it, why didn't we discuss this?
No.
Do we want to talk about any of the line demotions or the
I think we'll.
No, they never stick.
Yeah, I think,
that is true.
yeah, I
And
think we'll,
and whoever I don't even Darren Dom guy or what surfing with the alien, yes, fucking Satriani, dude, absolutely.
Oh, St. Owen asking about Subban getting stretchered off. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, so basically what happened was he was kind of tangled up with the Sabres player. I can't remember the Sabres player's name. And then Alexei Yemelin, who's his teammate, kind of came in to try and basically stop the puck from going along the boards. And Subban basically ended up kind of jamming his head into Emelin's rear end. And then he went down on the ice hard because he didn't see Emelin coming at all. So they stretchered him off, obviously taking precautions. He's moving his extremities just fine, last I saw on Twitter. Probably, if I had to guess, it's probably a pinched nerve. Again, I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on this podcast, but
And that's my job.
yeah, I if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably a pinched nerve, and he's probably fine.
Yes. And finally, to settle the goal saw thing, I'm hearing a rumor that Gen X submitted "Oops, I Did It Again" for Britney Spears, but I can neither confirm or deny that. I've just heard that. So with that, I think we soldier on, boys. Do us a favor, if you can. Hit that little subscribe button down there if you haven't already. We would really appreciate it. It helps us
Yeah, don't do it
out.
if you have, because then you'll unsubscribe, and that makes us sad.
Yeah, that does. And you don't want to make an angry Canadian a sad Canadian, because
That's right.
that's just all sorts of. The guy cries maple syrup. It's just nasty.
I can't
It's
cry
just
maple
nasty.
syrup. I'm diabetic. It's terrible.
It's just nasty. And once again, this is at Eric Landy. We have at iRead and at AJ_Strong. I know I totally botched it. Ian, do your normal teal tinted glasses outro.
Hi, I'm Ian Reed. I like long walks on the beach, and my Twitter handle is at iReadPucknology. You could email me at tealtintedglasses@gmail.com if you really wanted to.
Well, we
Hey,
don't want
actually,
emails.
on the topic of teal tinted glasses, actually, AJ joined us on the last episode. So if you haven't checked that out yet, be sure to
just
do
inflate his
so.
ego more.
Yes, sugar-free maple syrup. Next week, Wednesday, we are actually going to do a live show on this very channel, and then we will edit it like we normally do and have it also available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Pucknology.net, what have you. So be sure to check that out.
All right, Eric.
Apparently, I'm rumored to be producing this particular show. So
It's you or Puck Guy. You and Puck Guy are going to fight to the death for it, and then we'll go from there.
I could probably take him. I'm bigger than him. No, my name's Eric Landy. I'm here. I do stuff in the background.
Laundry apparently is what we see in the background.
yeah, laundry in the background over here, as you can see. This is my jersey right up here. This is a bath towel, some PJ pants. Anyhow, you can reach me at Eric Landry. Laundry? No, at Eric Landy. Yeah.
So once again, kids, thanks for tuning in. We very much appreciate it, and we will see you all after the Capitals game on Saturday night. Have a good night, everybody. Peace the puck out. Later, Chris.